Okay, we're just a couple minutes past our start time and we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome in everybody. Thank you for joining us for another webinar, another Aptus court reporting webinar. I'm Mike Tisa, the Director of Litigation Technology. I'm just going to turn on my camera to say hi real quick, let you know that I'm actually behind the scenes and I am here in person, I guess remotely giving this giving this webinar today. And I'm kind of excited about this one today. We've kind of taken a detour here from our series of navigating remote depositions, kind of a spin-off here, where we're going to talk about today the TrialPad app, a specific app that is mainly used for, just like in the title, TrialPad. This is how a lot of our clients previously have been introducing documents when they go to trial in lieu of using some of the bigger programs like Trial Director, OnQ, or Sanction. But what we found is, or what I found is, this is a really good app to use when you are presenting exhibits in remote depositions. So we're going to talk about that. And we're specifically going to talk about how this app integrates, the TrialPad that is, how it integrates with the Zoom platform, the Aptus Connect platform. That is indeed our primary platform for these remote depositions. So let's talk about some of the equipment you're going to need. While you are going to be using an iPad, you're still going to need a laptop or a computer with a webcam and microphone to facilitate this. You cannot really do this from just an iPad. So you're going to need at least two devices, the laptop and of course the iPad. And remember those first few webinars and everything where I was telling you, you can use Wi-Fi, but a wire connection is better? Well, forget all that. Don't forget about it. Just put it on pause. For this to work, you're going to need to be connected via Wi-Fi because it's going to need to be on the same Wi-Fi network so it can communicate with each other. Okay. Real quick, before I get any further, I must remind everybody that this is indeed a webinar. So only one-way communication again. You are forced with seeing me and hearing just me. Sorry about that. Thank you for those that have come back to this, and welcome to our newcomers. Certainly welcome you. We have a Q&A session, well, excuse me, we will leave time for a Q&A session. If you have any questions, just submit them in the Q&A panel located at the bottom of your screen, and I'll try to get to them after the content. We're scheduled for about an hour. Don't know if I'll have that much content. I want to leave plenty of time to go over those questions you may have and to show anything else you may want to see. It's going to be very hands-on in terms of going into the back end and showing you how this actually works when you get into the remote deposition. Okay. So mention the laptop, mention the iPad, mention the Wi-Fi. Now, if you don't have an iPad, that's okay. I wanted to show you a couple different models that you can get. This comes straight from the Apple website. There's 4 different models. For today's purposes, I'm actually using this one right here, the iPad Air. And I have 64 gigabytes of storage, and we'll talk about the storage capability in just a second here. A lot of our clients have actually been using the iPad Pro, the one on the far left here, because it is bigger, there's a bigger screen, you get more real estate to view everything. Okay, but for today's purposes, like I said, the iPad Air is what I'm using, and works just fine. The one I would actually recommend staying away from, not because it has limited functionality, it's the iPad mini. Just because the screen on that is so much smaller, and unless you have eagle eyes, it might be a little more difficult to read and to manage everything with the smaller screen size there. Okay, a couple FAQs about this TrialPad. The cost on it, is $129.99. It's just a one-time payment. It's available in the App Store. While I'm advocating for this, we're not a reseller of it. We don't get any money from it. We don't get any referral fees. And unfortunately, I can't give you a referral fee if you want to go purchase it on the TrialPad, or excuse me, at the App Store. But the good news is once you buy it, you own it. There's no monthly service. No, it's not software as a service charge. There's no maintenance fee. They're free upgrades. Once you own it, or excuse me, once you buy it, again, you own it. Okay. Now, in terms of file types, it accepts right there the PDF, JPEG, PNG, TIFF, and for the video files, MOV and .mp4 files. That's what most Mac operating systems use, and this is the iOS operating system. We're not going to talk about movie files. We're really just going to concentrate on the documents. That's what a lot of our clients have been asking about, and that's what basically you present at depositions, especially now in the remote world. And I talked about the storage capabilities and limitations. And this actually, the last point here, actually came straight from the Lit software website, which is noted below. The company Lit Software is the company that made the TrialPad app. So basically, for individual files, there's no limitation for how big you want to upload something. Okay, it could be a big file, it could be a small file, but in terms of how many documents you can put into TrialPad, it's the size of the actual iPad, how many gigabytes it can hold. Like I said, you can buy iPads that hold up to 256 gigabytes. The one I'm using, this iPad Air, actually is 64 gigabytes, and that has plenty of storage. 64 gigabytes should be good for most of your depositions and especially your trials. So the good thing about when you make the investment in TrialPad, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we get into the back-end feature, not only can you use it for your remote depositions, but it'll also better prepare you should you have any hearings, arbitrations, or trials. And let's face it, even though offices and things are starting to open up again, we're probably still going to be conducting a lot of things remotely, depositions, arbitrations, and trials specifically. So when you purchase this, not only are you going to be better prepared to do remote depositions in terms of exhibit management, you're also going to be able to use this for your, again, remote hearings and trials. And we'll show you some of those features as we move along here. First things first, I wanted to tell you a couple different ways to actually get to files on the iPad. If you're new to an iPad or you still have an iPad, as you know, it's not the easiest process. You have to do a couple things. So the first way to do it, you can actually, and just to preface this, I'm using a Windows machine, okay? You can use an iPad and get documents on there if you use a Windows computer. It doesn't have to be a Mac computer. You can use a Mac, of course, it's the same company, but for purposes of the demonstration today, I'm doing everything on a Windows PC. So what you would do is you would download iTunes, and you would just plug up the iPad to it, and then you would go to the file share over here on the left, as you can see, and then select the TrialPad app, and you would drag and drop, or you can add folders to your iPad the long way via a cord. The cable that comes with it, plug into your computer, and do that through iTunes. The most common way we've seen it done, or the most common way I recommend to our clients, and the way I do it, is actually doing it from cloud storage, okay? There are 4 different options that integrate with this: Box, ShareFile, Dropbox, and WebDAV. Not too familiar with the last one there. It's the first 3 that I primarily use. Specifically, I use Box and Dropbox. ShareFile, a couple months ago, I guess a few months ago, it was having some issues. Haven't checked on whether it's not been fixed, or whether it's been fixed or not. But for purposes of getting it into iPad, the TrialPad app, I would stick with Box or Dropbox if you have those accounts. And of course, if you don't have those accounts, you could go the long way by plugging up and dragging the documents in from there. So we're going to go in kind of a different process. There's a method to my madness, and I think it makes sense. If not, definitely drop a question in there, and I'll go over anything I missed. But first things first, I want to show you how to basically mirror the iPad to Zoom, okay? What's great is when you're using the iPad, your computer, your laptop becomes a secondary monitor. So imagine you're in trial. I have my iPad. I have everything I want in the back end, and I want the jury and the judge to see what I publish to the screen, okay? So what I'm seeing on my iPad in the TrialPad app is going to be different than what everybody is seeing on the screen. So now let's translate that into a remote deposition, okay? What we want everybody to see in the deposition is what I put up, not necessarily what's in my arsenal, what I put up on the screen, okay? So we want to share screen. We've been recommending a lot of that if you've seen some of our previous webinars, and if you've been on a demo with me, a one-on-one demo where I've prepped you for taking a remote deposition, okay? You know we use the share screen feature. That's still going to apply here, okay? Now, when you hit the share screen feature, as most of you know, this is what's going to pop up. Again, this is only what you see, okay? Nobody else sees this because you're telling Zoom exactly what you want to share, okay? Now, as you can see on the far right, there is an iPhone, iPad option, okay? So when we're gonna select that, and then we're gonna hit share down here, and that's gonna bring us up to another screen, okay? It's gonna prompt you to do this, okay? You have to make sure, this is why I mentioned earlier that you need to be on Wi-Fi, okay? Whatever Wi-Fi network you're on, your computer and your iPad have to be on that same network, okay? And then you just follow the prompts, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second, but I need to go through this because I can't show you while I'm connecting, okay? So basically, it's gonna bring up, when you do that, it's going to bring up your iPad. This is your iPad interface. I know I have a lot of movie and streaming apps. I can assure you these are used only outside of business hours, and I do not spend my days having Marvel marathons, at least during, like I said, normal business hours. So what we want to do then is go up here to the top, okay, the upper right-hand corner, and we're going to pull down, all right? And when we pull down, it's going to give you this option, okay? And here's that screen mirroring option I was talking about, okay? We're going to want to hit that, all right? And when we hit that, it's going to bring up this. And just like that slide showed you, you want to select the zoom icon so it does indeed put you on that network. So I'm actually going to stop my share real quick. So I'm going to do exactly what I just did so we can bring up the TrialPad app. Okay, now everybody should be able to see my iPad, okay? So I'm going to come off this. Okay, so this is what I was talking about up here in the upper right-hand corner. So I'm going to pull down, okay? And this, where it says Zoom M Tisa, that's where we wanted to select our screen mirroring. It's going to take you to follow the prompts just like it said on that screen, okay? So I'm going to close that out, and we're going to go to the actual TrialPad app, okay? So here it is right here. I'm going to go ahead and open it, okay? Now, you see a black screen, okay? That's what I want you to see because I don't want you to see what's in my arsenal, so to speak, all right? I want everybody to see what I put up there, okay? You can't see anything yet. So I'm actually going to bring up, one second here. I'm going to pause my, I need to pause my share. Okay. I'm going to stop my share for just a second because I want to make sure you're seeing exactly what I want you to see here. And I'm going to start my share again. Okay. We're back in it. Okay. I'm going to start from scratch here on my TrialPad app. All right. I'm going to bring it up. Okay. So again, you're not seeing anything, which is exactly what I want to happen. Okay. Now, let's say we're in the deposition. Now I want to start presenting exhibits. Okay. And I'll show you this on the back end. One thing I want you to show you is, see that TrialPad for iPad? That means we are streaming. That means we are connected to the laptop. This is just like if you were in trial. Okay. This is what you want the jury to see. That's kind of your safety net. That lets you know, excuse me, that you are projecting. Okay. So when I say, okay, I'm going to show you this exhibit, everybody's going to be able to see it now. Okay. And I'm going to turn on my camera just so you can kind of see me going through the motions of the iPad. Okay. So we have the document up here and we get the functionality of the iPad as well. Okay. So if I need to zoom in on it, I could just use my fingers and zoom in the document for everybody to see it. Need to move it down a little bit. There you go. Okay. Now, also, you're going to get some of the trial presentation features when you're using this as well. And we'll go over all those on the back end, but I'll show you. For example, if we need to come and call out something like that, okay, we can do that just like you would in trial, okay? If we want to bring up another document, we can bring up another document just like that. And of course, let's go ahead and use the call out feature again. Blow out this part. We can use a highlight feature, just like you would in trial. There's a pin feature, annotation feature. Again, this is all on the TrialPad app, okay? So we come down here, we just make a little X, just like that, okay? And then we just clear those out. And then, this is kind of a cool one. There's a redact feature. So if we need to redact something, you are able to indeed do that, okay? And then finally, a laser pointer. using a stylus or your finger, you can navigate to where you want on the document using just a laser. Okay, so that's great. That's what everybody in the deposition sees, okay? What I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to switch over to the back end so you can see what I'm doing, okay? So this is going to be mirroring what I'm doing back here. They call that war room mode. So give me just a second. I'm going to back up here and turn on war room mode, hit OK. Okay, so now everybody can see my folders, okay? This is what the back end is. When you open up TrialPad, this is where it comes. You can designate your cases and everything like that just by folder. You can actually, it's kind of cool, you can color coordinate some of your folders. So let's pick this one. If you know this is our working one, we can make it blue. It just helps you stay better organized, okay? And then over here on the left-hand side, okay, we're gonna talk about getting documents in here. Well, first, you know what, let's see if let's start from scratch, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit up in the upper left-hand corner here, okay? I'm going to hit a new case one, okay? We'll call it web, okay? We'll call it web. We'll create the case, okay? Now we want to import documents in here, okay? You see on the left-hand side there, let me pop over and use an annotation feature on Zoom here. If you see this cloud feature right here, or this cloud import, that's how we get it into Box, or excuse me, how we get it out of Box or whatever cloud platform we're using. Okay, so I'm gonna click that, all right? So like I said, all my stuff is housed in Box. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. I'm going to find, oh, look at that. There's already a folder ready for me. Oh, nice. Okay. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to select all my files and folders. Okay. Now look, I have subfolders already. So yeah, you can have things pre-marked, or excuse me, pre-organized in subfolders and just documents outside of the folders. It's totally up to you. All right. So I'm going to select all of those. I'm going to import selected files and folders. I'm going to choose my case, which is web, I just created. And let's go and see what happens, okay? And there's downloading the files to there. And there's about 25 files, like it said. It does it pretty quickly, depending on how big the file size are. And I haven't found if transferring or importing via the cloud, I haven't found one to be faster than the other. It just depends on how many files you have and how big those files are. Okay, so now we're done, all right? So we're gonna come into the web folder, okay? The case that we just created, go into the folder, okay? So now here are all my documents, here are all my folders ready to go. Again, this is what you're seeing. Nobody, unless you enable war room mode, okay, you're not gonna be able to see this. And I'll show you how to do that in just a little bit. But again, this is what you're seeing, and this is how you prep everything to be shown, okay? Oops, looks like we had just a little bit of a, let's see here. Let's see, go ahead and stop that real quick, and I'm going to bring it back up. All right. Let me apologize for that. All right. Okay, so here we are back here. So let's go ahead and say we want to bring up a document. Okay, we'll bring up this this European, or this complaint. Okay, actually just bring up the European social charter. Okay, I don't know. It just sounds weird. It's a mock document, so we'll just stick with that. Okay, so here I am on this document. Okay, so there's a couple different things we can do. Let's go ahead and start up at the top, okay? The arrow, again, I'll use the annotation feature within Zoom now, okay? This arrow actually expands the document to give you more real estate, basically full screen view, okay? So if we hit that, it's gonna make everything bigger, make your document previews go away, and now you have more room to navigate through this, okay? Then you just go back to documents to bring it up, okay? This button right here, okay, is a rotate button. You can rotate the page or the entire document. We'll just do the page, and you can kind of see how that works. So you can do a full 360 if you want to, if something does get rotated in the wrong way, okay? Now, here are those annotation features I was talking about that you would get if you're using something in trial, okay? We'll start with a call out. So that's exactly what it is. So you can call out something. You may call it zooming in, but normally in trial, when they say zoom in on that, it's to pull something out. Okay, so we'll just hover over it and zoom right out of it, okay? And then you can clear it, or what I like to do is just use my fingers, and if you pinch it, it goes away like that, okay? Again, the highlight feature, I bounce back and forth between my hand and my stylus, so we're gonna switch over to my stylus. We're gonna highlight that, just like it says, okay? And the pin feature, just like that. You can draw on it. You're able to annotate on it, okay? We're gonna clear that out. And of course, I mentioned the redact. clear anything, redact anything you may need to. Normally that's done beforehand, but if there's something you do need to do at a deposition, you can redact it. You can certainly do that at trial. That's come in handy many, many times when it's at trial. Now, just so you know, if you redact it, it doesn't necessarily save the document like that. It redacts it when you present it. So it's not going to save that redaction, just kind of an FYI there, okay? And of course, the laser feature I was talking about, the laser pointer, where you just select it and then move around where you need to, okay? The 1 of 29, so if it's a multi-page document, so I'm talking about this right here, okay? It's 1 of 29. If we need to jump to a certain page, you would just hit it and then pick which page you want to go to, okay? So we'll go to, let's put 23, go. There it is, okay? Now, this was added, you figure that's one of the first things they would add, but it actually used to be, see the scroll bar on the right-hand side? It used to be that was the only way you could navigate through pages. You'd have to kind of guess and just scroll up and down it. But that's the other way. If you want to just keep scrolling down, you are able to do that using the scroll bar over here, okay? The bookmark, this is the bookmark icon, the next icon over here, okay? So what I want to do is, let's go back, let's just scroll down to page 7, okay? If I bookmark this, we can name it whatever, you know, just be, we'll just put title, okay? You can actually bookmark certain parts of the document. So when you get out of it, and then come back, when you hit the bookmark icon again, see how that's highlighted? Let's go to another part of the document, okay? If you hit that, if you go back to title, it's going to take you to that bookmark page. So you can have several, you can bookmark several different points or several different pages in a document, okay? This key docs, or excuse me, this key right here, this is something interesting. It may come in handy for a deposition, certainly comes in handy for trials, okay? It does just kind of what it implies. It makes this a key document. So I'm going to hit this key, okay? We're going to do the entire document. Watch what happens. Oh, there it goes all the way down to the lower left-hand corner here for key docs. Now let's hit that, the key docs, this key docs icon right here, okay? That means it is a, I know you're on mute, sorry, but I heard you all say it once, a key document. Yes, so if you have documents you're working with a lot and you know you're going to keep coming back to them, you can mark them as a key doc, and then they would all fall into your key document section right down here, lower left-hand corner, okay? Now, this one we're going to wait. This is a share icon. I want to get to that in a little bit here, but I want to make sure I get to some of the other important things here as well. Okay, so bottom of the screen, okay, we'll go to the far left, the documents. That's where everything is, okay? That's where everything is housed, everything you imported, okay? So it goes in alphabetical order. So obviously you can see all my folders are in alphabetical order, but then it switches when you do just the documents, it puts them in alphabetical order. Now, that may be great, but if you want to, let's go ahead and introduce a little anarchy, all right? Let's go to the custom tab, okay? What you could then do, this custom tab right here, all right? Hit select. All right, let's go ahead and let's see. All right, we'll check the financial folder, okay? And then the 3 bars over here, what we're allowed to do is move that up and put it before the C, F before C. Crazy, I know. But that's how you move things around. If you want documents situated differently outside of alphabetical order, you would come and view everything in the custom tab, and that's not going to affect anything in the name tab, okay? Now, the last two we'll get to in just a second. That's more for trial. You can keep track of the documents that have been admitted and by exhibit number. I'll show you that a little bit later, okay? Multimedia, I think we talked about that. That's for your MPEG-4, your MOV files. I recommend you not using this to present video if you have anything in a deposition, just because of the limited, you have to convert it to MPEG-4.mov. You don't get the scrolling text. So we're going to skip over that. And then, of course, we've already talked about our key docs, okay? Now, these buttons right here, these are 4, let's see, the output, the blank, the freeze, and the present. These are 4 crucial buttons that you're going to need to know what they do, okay? The output button here, okay? Remember when I showed you the black screen and the trial pad, okay? That's what you have to have the output on so it projects to Zoom. So it projects to your TV or your projector when you're at trial, okay? You got to have that on, otherwise you're not going to be able to see the functionality of of trial pad when you're in the deposition or when you're in your trial, okay? The blank, freeze, and present do exactly what they say. They make it very intuitive. They keep it very simple, okay? We'll start with present, okay? Present actually presents the document. Freeze, okay, what that does is if you want to have it up there, whether in the deposition or trial, it lets you freeze the document, stay on that document, and you can come back in the back end and find another document. And then blank, of course, does just that. It blanks the screen. It puts just the black screen, the trial pad icon on there, like we saw earlier. And then, of course, there's a screenshot, so you can mark up, you can annotate things. I'll go ahead and just put circle there, X there. Then if I take a screenshot of it, we could call it whatever. I want to just call it snapshot 1, and then create snapshot. Okay, done. And that's actually going to come back into the name folder over here, and then your snapshots folder, and there it is. Okay, so this button right here, single doc, side-by-side document. A lot of you have asked, when you're doing remote depositions, how do you do side-by-side documents? Well, if you're using the Zoom platform, you're sharing your screen and you can do it. You just have to kind of maneuver the documents, minimize it here, and then minimize it over here and put 2 documents side by side. Well, with this, much like you might have seen in trial presentation software, you can indeed put 2 documents side by side. So I'm going to go ahead and click the side-by-side button here. All right. Now, the left-hand side, you can see is a little darker, okay? That means it's the active zone. What we want to do is put up a document next to it. So I'm going to go ahead and click to the right of it and watch what happens. Okay, now that's where it should bring up my next document, okay? So let's go back. Let's bring up the first page, the first page of it non-annotated, okay? So I'm going to go to my European Social Charter, bring that up, and there it is, okay? So now we have side-by-side documents, all right? Watch as I zoom in and watch as I zoom in over here. You're able to independently work with each one when they are side by side. There's that, and then we want to work with this one, and then we can highlight this one, okay? There we go, just like that, okay? So, and then the clear and undo. So if you want to undo something, it kind of takes a step back. Clear will clear all your annotations on the current document. If you want to clear this one, we come back here, and we select clear and then clear. So I'm going to make this one the active highlight, and I'm going to bring up as a single document. And we're going to talk about exactly what I just, these buttons here. So I'm going to turn this output on, okay? I'm going to turn this output on right now, and you're going to lose my war room mode. We're going to go back to the active depo mode, okay? Let me just clear out this annotation real here. Okay, so watch. You'll see it real quick. You'll see the output turn on, but then you're going to go back to the trial present or the remote depo / trial presentation mode. So I'm going to click it. Okay, so trial pad for iPad. So I'm still in my war room mode. Now everybody is seeing this. So actually, let's do this. I'm going to show you. Do a quick screenshot. Okay, I'm going to show you this document. Okay, present. Okay, this is just what I was talking about. Okay. This is what I'm seeing on my back end. This is how you need it to be set up. You need the output button on right down here, okay? You need to have this on, all right? And then the present button, okay? What that's gonna do is do that, just present the document, okay? So now if we do freeze, all right, I'm gonna bring up another document, the freeze document, okay? Watch what happens. Now this is frozen. I want you to stay on this document, okay? Now, I hit freeze on the back end. I'm actually looking through, I really am. I'm looking through other documents, as you can see. All right, let me see, pull it, yeah, there we go, okay? You're still seeing the same thing on the screen, okay? Which is what I want. I want it to linger there. I want to look at it while I'm finding another document, okay? Now, I want to blank this, okay? The blank button, okay? I'm going to, again, hit blank. Now you see nothing. Now it's just a blank screen, okay? So that's kind of those 3 buttons right there and the exact way they're gonna work, all right? So let me bring up the European Social Charter again, the working document we've been using a lot. I'm going to hit present, okay? And I would like to direct your attention to page 4, okay? Let me back up a step. That's something very important. Probably why a lot of you are here. Okay, let's go all the way back to page 1. Start over again. Okay, I would like to bring up this European Social Charter document, and keyword I would like to mark it as Exhibit 1. So what I'm doing on the back here is doing just that. Exhibit 1. There you go. Again, I know you're on mute and you're hearing I'm hearing a lot of oohs and ahs. That's okay. Let me show you how I did that. All right. I'm going to come back to War Room mode. Okay. I'm going to come back in so you can see exactly how I did that. Okay. Give me just 1 second. Enable War Room mode. Okay. Okay. So here's a document that I just marked. Okay. Let's bring up another document. Okay. Let's bring up Federal Rules of Evidence. Okay, so with either your stylus, your Apple Pencil, or your finger, what you're going to do is actually push on the document, push and hold the document. So do that. Okay, here's what comes up, the Assign Exhibit sticker. All right, we're going to hit that. All right, so here it comes. So notice we already marked Exhibit 1, so now it automatically updates to Exhibit 2. All right, and there's room, I just did it quickly, but there is room to, there's ways you can add further detail to it. So if we want to do a header, we can do that. We could do, defense, footer. We could put today's date. You could put the witness's name. You could do it however you'd like. Okay. And then we hit there's a keyboard icon there. You just hit that to close it. And then we want to apply it. Now, there's 4 different ways you can apply the sticker: lower left, upper right, bottom right, the standard, and then upper left. Now, be careful because these are very fixed. Okay, you cannot move them. So we're going to go ahead and just hit apply, and there it goes, right down there in the lower right-hand corner. So watch, I can't move it. So you got to be cognizant of if it covers up bait stamps or anything like that. So if you put it on there and it does, that's okay. Hold down on it again. All right, watch. When you hold down on it, you get to modify the exhibit sticker. Okay, let's modify it. Let's put it up in the upper right-hand corner. There we go. Hit apply right up here. Moves it right up there. Okay. Then watch. We're going to turn our output on, and we're going to present this document. There you go. Okay. Then let's jump to page 5. There we go. I believe we're actually looking for page 4 earlier. So there we go. Zoom in on it, just like I showed you with your fingers. Zoom out on it, use a call out feature, everything like that. Okay. Now, that's great, okay? But how do I get this to everybody in the session? Okay. Again, we're going back to War Room mode. Give me just 1 second. Enabling War Room mode. Okay, so let's go ahead and Exhibit 1. Okay. What we want to do, remember this icon I showed you, we said we're going to skip over, our share icon. All right, check it out. I'm going to hit it, and we have a couple different ways to do it. One, we could do the entire document or just the current page. Okay, we're going to do the entire document because we want everybody to take a look at it. We can email it out. So if you have your email set up, you can actually email it to anybody. We don't need to print the document because we're remote. Don't think that's going to really help anybody. And the final one, well, the one at the bottom, open document in, you can open it in if you wanted to use like a PDF view or something like that, you can do that. But we're going to concentrate on this one right here, all right? The upload document. Let's click that. Okay, so again, you're allowed to, the same things you can download from, the same option that you had, you're allowed to upload it to there. Now, you would think if they gave you all these options, they would work. Unfortunately, I tried to do it to Box the other day and it crashed the system. Email lit software, and they said, yeah, we're having problems with that. You might want to stick with Dropbox or ShareFile. So just take my word for it, okay? It doesn't work on Box yet. So you would have to get a Dropbox account or a ShareFile account to upload those. Now, Aptus can do that for you. We can set up for the deposition, we can set up a Dropbox account for you and then share it with everybody in the session, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Dropbox, okay? And I'm going to pick a folder that I want to put this in, okay? I'm going to go to the trial pad webinar, okay? I'm going to save document here. Give it just a second to go up, okay? And I'm going to come back here to my computer, okay? Give me 1 second here. And I'm actually going to share this, okay? Give me just a second. I'm going to share this folder with you guys. If you look in the chat feature, okay, I want everybody to take a look at this link I'm about to send you. Should be the lower part of the screen. For your iPad users, it's in the upper right, okay? This is going to take you to the actual folder, I believe, where everything is being held. So if you click on it, the European social charter document should be in there. I'm going to stop my share real quick. And I'm going to bring up my actual screen where you can see. There it should be right there, your European social charter document. That's how you can get the documents to everybody just like that as they're introduced. You just upload it as you introduce them. So I'm gonna do this in the back end again, okay? I'm actually gonna come to the exhibit 2 that we had, all right? I'm going to, again, I'm in the back end, you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm going to upload this to the folder again. Come back to Dropbox, the TrialPad webinar, save document here. Again, doing this on the fly. There we go. Federal Rules of Evidence, just like that, exhibit 2. With our exhibit sticker there. Okay, so that is how you can get the documents to everybody so they can view it independently. Now, you may notice this link, you cannot download these documents. I should have the download disabled. You can view only, but you can view it in its entirety up here in the cloud, okay? You can use a preview mode, and we kind of disable that feature so nobody is downloading things to their computer, or it makes it less difficult. Just click the link, there it is, everybody can view it, and it already has your exhibit sticker on there, okay? Once again, I'm going to stop my share, and I'm going to come back to the iPad so we can see what I'm looking at, because I want to show you some of the 2 other features that are going to help you when you get into, it may help you in the deposition, but specifically when you get into your arbitrations and your trials, okay? So we're going to come down here, do our screen mirroring. Okay. And I'll bring up my war room mode. By default, war room mode is disabled. I'm going to show you where that is. I think I mentioned that. Let me just make sure everybody is seeing that. Okay. So here I'm in the back end again, war room mode enabled. So up in the upper left, the I button there. Okay. Point it out real quick for you guys. This I button. Okay. If I click that, there's that war room mode. Okay. War room mode is enabled so that you can see my back in here. By default, it's disabled. And there's a couple of other things too. The lock annotation tools, if you turn that off, like basically, let's go ahead and I'll show you what it does. Okay. Come back in here to the web. So if we bring up a document, right, and I select the pen icon, every time I lift it, it's going to deselect it. So here's that. And look, I have to go back and hit pen again. It's kind of annoying, but you have the option of locking that, meaning when you click it, it's going to be locked on that particular annotation. User preference again. Okay, so let's come back over here to these 2 tabs. We'll start on the far right with the exhibit. Okay, when we have the exhibits marked, okay, we go to the exhibit tab. That's how you keep track of what exhibits have been admitted, maybe even what exhibit number you're on. But as you saw, this counts up. It auto counts. Okay, so we have exhibit 1, exhibit 2. The great thing is, not only do you have the exhibit number, but you still have the name of the document. Okay, so you have the name of the document and then the exhibit number. So it's really easy to keep track of. Okay, now the admitted icon right here, the admitted heading. Again, if you were in an arbitration or a trial, maybe more a trial, you want to keep track of what's been admitted. Hold down on the exhibit sticker again. Okay, that exhibit 1, and we're going to mark admitted. All right, if you click that, there we go. Now we know that's been admitted. So that's another way to keep track of, once you get outside the deposition world and you have great practice using the TrialPad app to present your exhibits remotely, you can now do this maybe in trial, or definitely if some of your hearings, arbitrations, or your actual trials are indeed remote. You would be an old pro at it at this point. Now you know what the admitted, now you know what all 4 of these headings do, okay? A couple other bonus features in this, okay? The plus icon right down here. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the name folder, okay? I'm gonna hit the plus icon. You can create new folders within here, okay? You see how some documents that are kind of floating out here? I'm gonna add a new folder. I'm just gonna put, we'll put trial pad snapshots, okay? I'll just get a trial PS, okay? And then you could name it by a different color. Let's go blue. And then you can put an icon on it. And these are gonna be the pictures, okay? So I just select that and then hit done. And there's that folder, okay? Now, the present blank and the freeze, those are the photos I took of this. So let's move those in those folders right now. I'll show you how to do that. You hit select, and we're gonna do the present blank, and then the freeze, okay? And we're going to hit edit button, okay? The edit button right down here, perfect, all right? Edit. We're going to move, all right? Let's move these into our trial photos, okay? Hit that. They're no longer here. We go into this folder. There they all are. Perfect. Okay. Now we're better organized. We can come back and present as needed, okay? Now, the second one, going back to the plus icon, Zoom has a whiteboard built in. This has a whiteboard built in. So if I hit whiteboard, there we are. Blank slate to draw on. So, well, this is going to be hard as I don't have my annotations locked, but we can start drawing, okay? We can draw a road. There we go, just like that, the whiteboard feature, all right? And then, of course, we can take a snapshot of it if you want. We'll just go ahead and create a snapshot, and I'll put it in the folder. And there we go, okay? But look, something I noticed, it automatically goes into our key docs, okay? So when we create a whiteboard, it's kind of already there, all right, in our key docs. So we don't have to worry about saving it. Because I guess they're thinking if you did a whiteboard, that must be something key to the case. I don't know, but there it is, okay? So you have that whiteboard feature. Other than that, I think I've covered pretty much everything. One other thing I'll do, a couple of bonus features. You can, we'll come back to one of these documents here. If we need to, this was funny. Okay, so let's bring up this exhibit 6. It's just a sample transcript, okay? We have it named exhibit 6, but if I'm gonna go to mark it as an exhibit, assign exhibit sticker, this is exhibit 3, all right? I'm gonna put it up in the upper right, but the document says exhibit 6. Well, that's just silly. That's nonsense. Nobody has time for that. If we hold down on it again, on the sticker, we can rename the document, and we would just come over here, rename it as exhibit 3, and the name of the document, or we could just take the exhibit heading off of it. That's the thing. If you're marking these with exhibits, you don't have to necessarily mark it exhibit 3 and then the document name. I know that's how we were talking about doing it through the Zoom platform, but through this, since you get the exhibit stamping feature, it's great. So we're going to save it. Now we're in exhibit 3. All right. So, well, I've saved a little bit of time to answer some questions. Let me check and see if anybody's plugged anything in there. Nothing yet. Okay. Hope I've kept everybody awake today, but let's just go through another couple features. Let's look at this live again, okay? So I'm going to click my output icon on, hit present, okay? There we are. Now let's go ahead. Again, I'm doing everything on the back end. I'm going to bring up an exhibit next to it. There we go. There's our side-by-side as everybody would see it in the actual deposition and at the actual trial, okay? And then when I work on the document on the left, we bring it up singular, okay? Scrolling through it just like we would in a deposition. Zoom in on it, zoom in out on it. Call out, just like I showed you earlier, just like that. Now, you can have the witness annotate on this, okay? If you're using the Zoom session, you would just have the witness go up to the annotate features and they could mark on it, okay? They would be marking on it. Now, this is an important part. They would be marking on it through Zoom, okay? So it wouldn't necessarily show up on your iPad. It would show up on this Zoom, excuse me, let me grab it would show up on your Zoom share screen. So you would want to save the annotation they marked through Zoom, not through the iPad. I hope that makes sense. We do have a question floating in. Let's see what we have here. you have a demo online to view this for taking a deposition on Zoom or WebEx? Well, we don't have a demo of taking an actual deposition online yet. This video, you will get a recording of it, and it'll be on our YouTube channel. It'll be available tomorrow. And we can certainly work on putting a mock deposition together for you, taking this taking a depo using TrialPad. It's just something I kind of stumbled upon. So you're kind of the benchmark, the first viewers to see this. So I really would love your feedback to see if this is something you think you'd be able to integrate into your deposition practice. Okay, can you show how to move the order of the exhibits? Yes, I can. Okay, so let me come back again to war room mode. Okay, and this is what you're not asking. You just shoot me another question in the Q&A session. I'll make sure I'll do it. We're going to come over here to our custom tab. All right, let's go to custom. Okay, so now I want to hit select, and we want to find which one we want to move. All right, so let's do the scene photos. We select it on the left, and then the 3 bars here. Okay, we're just going to hold that and then move it up. Okay, and we can actually select, if you wanted to select all, if we want to move several different around, all we have to do is choose that individually. Okay, so I want to move the claims down here. I want to move our exhibit 1 up here. I want to move this one around here. Now, notice it doesn't let you hop into the folder section. So the folders can be rearranged if they're in the folder section. The docs, it looks like, can only be rearranged if they're in the actual standalone documents, not in folders. And of course, all your exhibits will be located over here in the order that they appear. I do not believe, let's just see, okay? No, it doesn't look like you're able to move them around when they're in the exhibit. They stay sequential, okay? Another question, does Aptus offer a kit or a lease with iPad and TrialPad? You know, we were for trial. When we actually were going to trial in person, that was part of our equipment rental, all right? We would rent a projector, cables, and an iPad when we went to trial. Haven't gotten that far yet about using it for depositions. That's something we'll have to discuss internally, but I should have anticipated that question, but we'll let you know. Just keep in touch with me, and we'll let you know how we can help you facilitate your deposition should you need any of this equipment. Okay, thank you for that question. Okay. Let's see if anything else trickles in here. We do have some time. Like I said, it was allotted for the hour. So everything else, please send it. Looks like we have another one. Okay. If you purchase TrialPad, can you use it on multiple iPads? Yes, you can. Okay. That's a very interesting thing about the apps when you purchase them. As long as you're signing in under the same ID, you can put them on multiple iPads. So I had this running on, I had a backup iPad ready to go, as I always do. Definitely not a bad practice yet, but yeah, practice the app. I only bought the app once, but I put it on 2 separate devices. So as long as you log into the App Store with your Apple user ID, you're able to download it to multiple iPads. So good question. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay. Is TrialPad compatible with Microsoft OneDrive or SharePoint to upload files? Fortunately, not yet. It was those 4. Let's see. I'll bring it up again. It was the 4 that we discussed. The Dropbox, Box, ShareFile, and the WebDAV. So unfortunately, it doesn't have integration with Microsoft OneDrive or SharePoint. You got to think that's coming soon, but I don't want to speak for them. But unfortunately, it does not have integration with those. After depo or trial is done, how do you export and save everything? Okay, I think we talked about that just a little bit. Okay, we actually use, give me just a second as it's trying to think here. Let me come back here to war room mode. Talk about exporting it into that box folder. So let me come back to war room mode. Like I said, we'll come back to the web. Okay. And you can kind of see my little wheel is spinning here. But if you would upload it that box folder, I think we talked about it. Let me bring that up again real quick. Okay. You can upload it to the box folder, okay? And then everybody can download, stop my share and start it again so you can see it. Everybody would be able to download the files from the designated Dropbox folder that you had, or then of course you could indeed email them to somebody. You would be able to email them out. Another question popping in here. Can you use the app on a laptop or desktop or just an iPad, any other tablets? It is specific to the iPad, okay, not the iPhone. It really is specific to just the iPad. It's iOS, so it's meant just for the iPad. So you can't, there's no like app you can use on the computer or anything like that. It has to be on the iPad. The only thing you can do, which what I've seen, there's an app called the Reflector 3 app, and you would it actually mirrors it to your computer, but that would be pretty much the same thing as using Zoom, where you can mirror your iPad through the option that I showed you with share screen and then the iPad. So there's no, outside of the iPad, you can't get the app on anything else but the iPad. Okay, good questions. Thanks for asking them. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll hang on for just another 5 minutes and then see if anything else pops up. Then I'll go back to what I'll do is I'm actually going to see if we can come back and use the screen mirroring option again, just so everybody can see this one last time to see how it is effective when you go. So I'm going to turn my output on, bring up my evidence, bring up my document, and then I'm going to put something next to it. There we go, side by side, the same document, but the side-by-side feature, just kind of letting you know what everybody sees, okay? Does the, oh, a couple more questions, great. Does the exhibit stamp version save as a separate document? So let's see, that's a very good question. So exhibit 1, let me come back to War Room mode again. So we can see exactly what we're looking at. All right, so here's my exhibits, okay? You see exhibit 1, exhibit 2, oh, up at the top, there we go, and exhibit 3, okay? That's in the exhibit tabs, okay? Now let's go under name and let's see, okay? So it looks like whenever you mark the document, it doesn't save separately. It marks it as exhibit 1. So your exhibit, whether it's under name, looks like whether it's under custom, whether it's under admitted, it's always going to have that exhibit stamp on there. Now, what you could do, if you wanted to, if you want it, we'll take this exhibit 1, okay? If we select it, all right, and then do edit, we could duplicate it, okay? And if we duplicate it, then we have global coverage copy. So you can mark this as an exhibit, all right? Oh, mark admitted, sorry. Marked as exhibit, all right? Apply. Then that goes into your exhibit folder, but then we still have our clean working copy without the exhibit. So again, flipping back and forth between these two, our exhibit 1 with the exhibit sticker on it, and then right below it, exhibit 1, or excuse me, exhibit 4 without the exhibit sticker, all right? Another question popping in. Would we have someone from your firm on the Zoom Depo to certify the recording, create the transcript, and coordinate the exhibit? So you're going to have a court reporter. You know, if you're taking a deposition, you are going to have a court reporter on the session and a dedicated tech. So if you want it recorded, they would have a videographer, just like you would a normal deposition, in-person deposition. They would record the session. They would do their read on and go on and off, state all the on and off the record times. And then when you mark it, the reporter would attach it to the transcript. Okay, so you have the ability to mark it yourselves. Or if you don't want to mark it yourselves, going back to the old way, we can, of course, the reporter can, of course, mark it after the fact. This is just the do-it-yourself option if you wanted to mark it and have it readily available to access with the stickers on there. Okay. And if there's nothing else, we have just a couple minutes left. I'm going to bring up one last slide here that has my contact info and some of Aptus's contact info on there. Looks like we have one popped in. The searching in trial pad just search names or within the document? It's just the names. Good question. Let's see here. We'll search document and we'll just do, just start typing it up. Yeah, it just searches what document it is. If you have a long list of documents, it's going to help you find the documents. There's really no OCR functionality within the TrialPad app. Okay, I'm going to stop my share and just bring up this last one. And then there's some contact info for you guys. That's my contact info. Feel free to reach me at any time. There's no baseball, so I'm looking to fill a void in my life, so I will answer emails as fast as I can. And of course, to schedule anything, scheduling at aptuscr.com. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Happy to do a personal one-on-one or a firm demo for you guys, specifically on this or any of our other remote presentation features that we're offering, as well as follow us on social media. We do have it's not new, but I probably like to say it. Our YouTube channel is going to have all of our past webinars, including this webinar on it, and has some other things on there too. So it's the Aptus Court Reporting YouTube channel. I encourage you to check it out. It has a lot of good trainings on there, a lot of good videos on there that are very informative. So we're just at about 11 o'clock, which is about the hour that I allotted. Looks like I did take the full hour. I'm glad I did. Glad we had some great questions. And hopefully you found this informative, and hopefully you might be thinking about how you're going to incorporate this into your remote deposition practice and how it may further your ability to conduct remote hearings, arbitrations, and trials. It really is a good investment. And again, we're happy to help, train you on this, happy to give you any troubleshooting tips and pointers, do any demos for you, just like we've been doing. Those are our complimentary. Just contact us and we'll be happy to set that up for you. And it looks like we have one final question trickling in. I think I'll cut it off after that. And just a thank you. Well, you're welcome. Thanks for joining. I appreciate that. Okay. And if that's it, it's been great having you guys. Always great having you guys. Thank you again for the returning viewers, and welcome, and thank you for the new viewers. Hope to see you again on our next webinar. Have a good day. Thank you.